Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I have a lot of links for you on this one. I'm not going to read the articles to you, but usually the headlines will give you a big overview, and I'm going to kind of tell you what all of it, the bottom line of all of it when it comes down to it. So anyway, this is going to be about Ilhan Omar, because if you watched the rally the other night, you noticed that Trump was talking about her, and then I think it was when he was going to the plane or something, somebody asked him, somewhere along the line, he mentioned that there were allegations about her marrying her brother. Well, let me show you what I've got on this, okay? Did some digging, came up with a few things. Let me kind of put it all together, like I said. Okay, well, to start out with, she's from Minnesota, and her hometown paper has kind of been dragging its feet on actually dealing with this whole topic. And this was an article that came out on July 18th. And, basically it says they're not talking about it. Now, the situation, I'm going to go on. Again, all of these links will be down below. You'll be able to read them on your own. But all of these have to do with her alleged brother. Let me show you this little graphic here. And this is going to be a quick overview, really, of everything else and all the other articles. Before Ilhan's family left Somalia, there were, two families, essentially, that are caught up in all of this. One is the Elmis, and that's her actual family she was born into. And then the Omars is another family that lived in Somalia, and they're going to play a role too. Well, anyway, when they got ready to flee Somalia, they went to a Kenyan refugee camp. Seems like a lot of people go to Kenya, right? And from 1991 and 1995, that's where they were. As she was, I think, between the ages of 8 and 12 at that time. Well, her father, this is her father's name, Nur Saeed Elmi Mohammed. And these are the children. They had 5 children, and Ilhan was one of those. Now, at this point, when they were in this refugee camp, the family actually split up because the Omars were given asylum in the United States. So the family sent these two, and the father went with the Omar family to the United States. The other ones went to, over here, the United Kingdom. And so 3 of them were here, and then the rest of them went over here. So that way they both got to go to different places, but, they didn't all get to the United States. Now, at that point, now this is the brother that she supposedly married. Okay, he was from the UK because that's where he went for asylum. And he kept the family name. Well, for her, she took on the name Ilhan Abdullahi Omar. Okay? And all of her family, the 3 that went with this Omar family here, they all took on the Omar name. So that's where she ended up with that. Okay, then they go off to North Dakota and, they get married. Well, she married a UK citizen. Well, that UK citizen was the brother who, at the time, went to the United Kingdom instead of the United States when they were split up. And that's when she was 12 is when they were split. So, yeah, she is not related by blood to the people in the Omar family, but she took the Omar name. She is, however, related by blood to this family over here. And this is where Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi comes in. And that was the guy she married. Okay? I know, it's just so complicated. Anyway, then they get into Minnesota, and everything that happened there. Now, she claimed that she had not seen or heard from her husband, brother, whatever, since June 2011, and has no idea how to find him, but her social media accounts were filled with years of evidence to the contrary, and of course now they've been deleted. And so there's some serious allegations going on if she is found guilty of this, because immigration fraud, tax fraud, student loan fraud, marriage fraud, yeah, she's got some serious splaining to do, Lucy. So when we get into this, you'll understand a little bit better now. All right, so she swore to apparent falsehoods in court while divorcing her alleged brother. Okay, now this is from August 8th of 2018. Now remember, she didn't win until November of 2018. So this all was coming out and should have been reason to keep her from being eligible to run. But oh no, that's not how Democrats work, right? So yeah, she made some statements under oath that were illegal. I mean, they were perjury, essentially. And she, has not been held accountable for them. And so that one, and then this one, Ilhan Omar, perjury evidence blacked out by Minnesota media. So, and look, it's the same picture. No, this is PJ Media doing this, so yeah, it's probably one of the pictures that they use because it was about the same time. This was August 8th, and I think this was the 13th. Yeah, this was the 13th. And this was by David Steinberg, who has done a lot of the work in this, and you'll see evidence of his research as we go on. But anyway, so yeah, the Minnesota media seems to be kind of covering up for her. And, they're just giving her an out by not actually telling the truth to people. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. And, it says these court records are publicly available. Anybody can go there and retrieve them. And the social media posts that were up are easily verifiable by a novice, let alone a modern digital news outlet. So it would have been very easy for them to do it. There was no reason why they shouldn't have, but they didn't bother. Why? Because they wanted her in. They were part of it. So this came out October 23rd of 2018. Again, this stuff was coming out before the election. Official school records support claims that Ilhan Omar married her brother. So where are they? Yeah, they've got the enrollment records archived by St. Paul Public Schools, and they name him as Ahmed N. Elmi. Was enrolled as a senior in the class of 2003 at Arlington Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota from September 6, 2002 until June 10, 2003. He graduated and received a diploma. The enrollment record states that Ahmed N. Elmi was born on April 4th, 1985. And both Ilhan Omar's 2009 marriage documents and her 2017 divorce proceedings state that Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi was born on April 4th, 1985. So, this is him. This really is. And they're trying to say not. And you can read through this. It tells more about it. Again, I'm just giving you a quick overview, and I want you to have the information and the links so that you can show other people, okay? And the address records show Representative Ilhan Omar still lived with her first husband throughout marriage to her apparent brother. So this was October 30th, again, 2018. And the whole thing behind this is she was living with the guy that she married that was allegedly her brother, which it looks to me like there's plenty of evidence to support that, while she was still living with her actual husband that she has 3 kids with. So creepy, but yeah. And she obviously did it so her brother could come over here. And, that's what's so frustrating about it. She went around the law to do this. So anyway, here's another one. New photos corroborate perjury claims against Representative Ilhan Omar as she deletes social media evidence. And again, November 5th, 2018. So, the evidence is here. It is all here. They put it together. But the media in her state didn't cover it. And this was back in 2018. So maybe now that's going to be brought to light. And this article right here has that chart that I showed you. This is about David Steinberg, and he's the one that wrote several of those articles I showed you so far on PJ Media. And, he has all these different ones, and the links are right here. So essentially, if you have this one, you have all the rest. But these are the different articles that you have throughout that season. I mean, when it should have been coming out, but nobody was touching it. And the reason was because of her ethnicity and everything. And that's what's really crazy because, you come here, you're an American, so act like an American, but she's not. she's not at all, and she's not respecting our laws. So if you go through, and here's another one that it talks about, he titles it, Meet Lila Elmi, the missing link showing Ilhan Omar married her brother. And so here's more about it. You can go through. I thought this was really interesting because on October 22nd, 2008, the U.S. State Department stopped accepting applications for the Priority 3 Refugee Family Reunification Program, the process by which refugees can apply for asylum if one family member is already a legal U.S. resident. State halted the program because DNA testing, primarily of Somalis, had concluded that perhaps 87% of applicants were fraudulently claiming family relationships. Now do you understand why that whole paid migration thing needs to be stopped? And especially this. I mean, they were cheating the system, and she was part of this. So, despite continuing war, Somalia of 2008 was not comparable to the open hell of the early 1990s when an 8-year-old Ilhan and her family fled to Kenya's Dadaab refugee camps. She lived there from 1991 until 1995, aged 8 to 12. Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services then helped Ilhan, her sister Sarah, and her father Nur Saeed receive asylum in the United States, along with thousands of other Somalis. Anyway, she had no say on the manner in which she arrived in the United States, so maybe this is part of it. Maybe she resents being here because she was a kid, she was 12, and she was bundled off to another country, and she likely did not even have a say in, being taken from her original family and kind of sent as part of another family. So, maybe she resents all that, but she should also understand that the conditions that she was in before, surely the United States was better than that, and look where it's brought her to. How can she not appreciate a country like this? And that's really where I think President Trump has been irritated, because it appears that she is very ungrateful for what she's been given. She's been given quite a blessing of the United States being allowed to come here as a refugee. And it seems that she doesn't care. She resents that she was brought here. So anyway, you can go ahead and read the article, but it does really prove that, he really is her brother if you go back and you look at it. So I'm pretty sure of that. And this right here is from the Gateway Pundit. This came out on July 18th. And it talks again about David Steinberg, who has been the big person doing this. I mean, really, most of what we have on it has been from him and his sources, but they've done a lot of work trying to find this information. And here he says, she's toast. Latest report by David Steinberg illustrates Ilhan Omar's 8 instances of perjury could face 40 years in prison or deportation. Would that be interesting? So, to me, it seems kind of silly that she's out there flapping her gums. Seems to me like if you were in that precarious of a situation, you should be kind of laying low and trying not to cause a big stir, because you wouldn't want to draw attention to yourself, but she wants to. And that right there should tell us a lot, because, she's been defying our law for years. No wonder she wants illegals in the country, because she probably is illegally here. I mean, technically she's here legally, but it just was one of those things that if they committed perjury and fraud to get here, then is she really legal? I don't know. I hope they get it sorted out, though, because that's crazy. That's the Gateway article. And I want to show you a little video here. Well, I'm not going to show the video. I'll show you where you can find the video. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds long, so it's not long at all. And it gives a real overview of her. Basically, it says that she did marry her brother, and there's documentation, and she was married to 2 guys at the same time, and she only got the divorce because somebody found out she was married to her brother, and they knew about this in 2018, in August of 2018, so long time before that. So there's no reason whatsoever that it should not have been exposed, and she should not have been put into Congress because of it, because this is just not right. She has committed fraud against the United States, and that is definitely not someone that we should have in as a representative in our government. So I wanted to give you that. Again, all the links are going to be down below so you can read through the articles on your own. But whew, what an incredible, twisted, complex story. You know what? I couldn't write stories like this because people would say, oh, that's not real. Yeah, these people are stupid. They keep doing stuff like this, and then they flaunt it in our faces. So something has to happen to this woman. She has to be held accountable just because that's the rule of law. And if she's not going to play by the rules, she certainly shouldn't be running the government and making rules. So anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.